Hello, welcome back. Let's get started with Lesson 10. My thoughts do not mean anything. This idea applies to all the thoughts of which you are aware, or become aware in the practice periods. The reason the idea is applicable to all of them is that they are not your real thoughts. We have made this distinction before and will do so again. You have no basis for comparison as yet. When you do, you will have no doubt that what you once believed were your thoughts did not mean anything. This is the second time we have used this kind of idea. The form is only slightly different. This time the idea is introduced with my thoughts instead of these thoughts, and no link is made overtly with the things around you. The emphasis now is on the lack of reality of which you think. This aspect of the correction process began with the idea that the thoughts of which you are aware are meaningless, outside rather than within, and then stressed their past rather than their present status. Now we are emphasizing that the presence of these thoughts means that you are not thinking. This is merely another way of repeating our earlier statement that your mind is really a blank. To recognize this is to recognize nothingness when you think you see it. As such is the prerequisite for vision. Close your eyes for these exercises and introduce them by repeating the idea for today quite slowly to yourself. Then add, this idea will help to release me from all that I now believe. The exercises consist, as before, in searching your mind for all the thoughts that are available to you, without selection or judgment. Try to avoid classification of any kind. In fact, if you find it helpful to do so, you might imagine that you are watching an oddly assorted procession going by, which has little, if any, personal meaning to you. As each one crosses your mind, say, my thought about blank does not mean anything. My thought about blank does not mean anything. Today's thought can obviously serve for any thought that distresses you at any time. In addition, 5 practice periods are recommended, each involving no more than a minute or so of mind searching. It is not recommended that this time period be extended, and it should be reduced to half a minute or less if you experience discomfort. Remember, however, to repeat the idea slowly before applying it specifically, and also to add, this idea will help to release me from all that I now believe. Why do I want to be released from what I believe? Well, if you're drawn to this course, perhaps it means something in your life is not exactly as you would like it to be. Maybe you'd like more peace. Maybe you'd like to be happier. Maybe you'd like to be able to forgive those that have hurt you. Or perhaps forgive yourself for things that you have done. Well, letting go of the beliefs that you have created over the period of time that you've been alive is how you will be able to get closer to true happiness, to complete peace. So let's search our minds. Remember, we're doing this exercise with eyes closed for no more than a minute. This thought about my hunger does not mean anything. This thought about what I need to do tomorrow does not mean anything. This thought about how my back feels uncomfortable does not mean anything. This thought about how bright the light is does not mean anything. This thought about the laundry I need to do does not mean anything. This idea will help to release me from all that I now believe. Just do the exercise for about a minute. If you notice, I needed to read the sentence off the page because I couldn't remember what it said. No big deal. Feel free to open your eyes if you need to. Nobody's going to punish you. The most important thing about doing the exercises is doing the exercises. Not about doing them perfectly, but just showing up with the desire to learn. That's it. That's all you need. I find this lesson to be incredibly valuable. I can't tell you how many times I have let whatever first thought pops in my head be the truth for me. Whether that's a judgment of another person or of myself, or if it's a tape I have playing in my head from something someone told me, those thoughts of, you can't do that. I know those thoughts aren't real. And the interesting thing is, none of our thoughts are real. What is real anyway? That's what we're learning. When I first started this course, my mind was buzzing with so many thoughts that it was exhausting. I gave myself a headache with how much chatter was happening inside my mind. But I can tell you, now that I'm about halfway through the course, my mind is much quieter. This course has really helped me find the peace that exists within my own mind. I feel joy and it comes radiating from within my being. That might sound crazy or weird, and that's okay. It doesn't bother me, because I'd rather have you think I'm weird than be unhappy or lacking joy or in a state of chaos instead of the peace that I feel now. It's not 100% of the time. I'm not completely disciplined yet, but I have faith that one day I will be. Because if after less than 2 years of working on this, and not even that consistently, I can be at the place I am now, I'm just excited to see what happens with the second half of the lessons. So again, please drop a comment if you have an experience you'd like to share. Also, feel free to email me at askrayslight@gmail.com. As always, thank you for practicing with me, and have a wonderful rest of your day.